So I really want to explain to you my channel in the fewest words possible so that you understand what this YouTube channel is about. And I've boiled it down to 4 words. Technically, it can be 2 words: lifestyle success. But to explain it a little deeper, it covers 4 different categories: body, wealth, dating, and happiness. That's pretty much it. And then the 5th category is what I like to call troll slash fun, which pretty much means, sometimes I just do fun things that can't really be categorized into these other categories, even if I try and do so. And sometimes I still want to put it up because it's fun, it's entertaining, and usually these are vlogs of some sort or other, or something just very funny or entertaining, like a lip sync video. And most of that, anyways, can arguably be put into the happiness category because, sometimes what one thing I've learned from experience and based off how I am is that you can't take life too seriously. And I am a very serious person, and I've taken people and situations much more seriously than they had to. And I've been a lot angrier than I should have been. So let's break down all 4 of these components just to get you a more detailed feel of it. So wealth. What do you mean by wealth? Well, this means acquiring a level of financial stability and beyond that. And this covers a lot of areas such as the books I review from successful people who have made it very, they've done very well off, and they've been very well off financially. And so sometimes I review and read or discuss business people. And sometimes I discuss people who are writers or composers or authors or athletes who have achieved their success and usually done it by doing something that they're skilled at and they enjoy as well. And so that's that whole area that I cover with that. And so, money isn't everything, but it is important to a certain extent. That security helps you, your family, uh, your future family, your children, and everyone else. And it's very useful to have that because you never know what may happen. You might get into a car accident, and if you don't have that reserve cash and you're working paycheck to paycheck, you're screwed. So again, I cover a lot of areas about this. And what you'll start learning is that it also has to do with personal finance as well, not just having a lot of money. And you'll realize this because I tell these stories about how these millionaires, they have all this money, but they don't know how to manage it, and they're bankrupt. And some of them go homeless, some of them just don't have any money, and they go into extreme debt, and they crash and burn. And really, really understanding how your money works and really using it efficiently and knowing how far it can go can really help you tremendously, especially if you want to travel, especially if you want to do other things. And I talk about all that travel, I talk about personal finance, and I show you how you can, use your money more effectively than someone who earns twice or 3 times as much as you do. And all of it just slips through their fingers somehow, and they're not even happier for it. Now that gets into happiness. So happiness is a very interesting field in and of itself. And if you start reading books on the science of it and watching courses and lectures on it, you'll find that it is very, very interesting. And there's certain things that will bring better happiness that are not what modern society makes you think. Modern society makes you think, oh, let's chase the cars, let's chase the money, let's chase this or that, these fancy, shiny objects, materialistic things. But science, and not just science, but people I've come into contact with, people I've experienced, people I've met, and I'm always searching for people like this, people who are just, so happy, and not just on one day, but they have a constant state of real happiness. And I learn from these people and I learn from these books, and I tell you like what you can do to achieve a long-lasting, resilient form of happiness. And again, it goes into other things. It goes into statistics, population surveys, and these cover things like, well, from a population level, do people get happier with more money? And all these things. If you spend money on other people, are you happier, or do you spend it on yourself? What's important for good happiness? Social relationships, being very grateful and thankful for what you have. Again, I don't want to go too in depth in this video, but you get the point. Dating. Now, dating covers many fields. Dating could be as short term as hooking up, the party scene, the college scene, to something more long term. Something like, marriage, something sustainable. And I think this is very, very important. I'm not in a place that I want to get married anytime soon, but the more and more I learn about this and hear of so many other people's stories, it really makes me think. I mean, just through the internet, through my viewers, through reading Reddit, through actual experiences, actual stories of divorce and cheating and all these things that I've learned, I have realized that so many people make mistakes on who they choose to marry or what they look for in a partner, and it screws them over. And it's just very sad, and it's costly on a financial level. It hurts both parties. It's a lot of pain and argument, and you can avoid all that if you just start researching, reading some books on it, or watching my videos on it and learning about, well, what can I do in terms of marriage? How can I get a better partner or choose a better partner for that? And again, let's go to the short-term dating, or casual dating sort of stuff, or hooking up, party scene type stuff. Again, the amount of YouTube videos alone on all these different fields I've covered, it's just, it will blow your mind. I watch a lot of YouTube, so I'm not gonna lie, I like a lot of specific channels on YouTube. I find them very entertaining and funny, and some of them are short-term YouTube videos with short-term dating or hooking up as the culture behind the video. I'm Smacked, SB Party Scene, that sort of stuff. It's interesting seeing the hot girls and the whole dynamic behind that. So I talk about that too, and I'm not saying this in a arrogant way. It's just true. Like, I can confidently say that I have consumed and have a better knowledge, and I'm not saying I'm actually good or amazing with women or anything like this. I'm not, and I'm still learning, but I can confidently say that I've consumed more knowledge and have a well-rounded understanding of girls and what they find attractive and all that stuff than 99% of people out there. And that's because I got into the dating coach scene, I got into the pickup artist scene, all that stuff, because I wanted to better myself. And some of the things I didn't, I looked at agnostically. I really just wanted to help myself. And some of the stuff I realized, it doesn't actually work, or it's in the right direction. But, then when I started looking at scientific studies, and certain podcasts, like the Mating Grounds podcast, where they literally bring in professors and scientists and cite studies and show you all the different qualities that are attractive for a male, it really just opened my eyes and gave me a wider perspective. So I bring all that to the table too. There's like 100 Mating Grounds podcast episodes. I've watched almost all of them, and I mean, it's just very interesting in and of itself. Again, there's understanding what's attractive, and then there's actually getting there. So again, this channel and myself is a portrayal of my growth and progression, because I'm still trying to get there in certain ways, and still trying to fix out all the flaws and not okay, I hate using the word flaws, but all the things that I can work on to improve, to get better. Things like my shyness, my fear of rejection, my competence, my value, uh, you know, stuff like that. So there's dating, and then the final category is body, and by body I mean your nutrition, what you eat, and um, your your fitness, your physique. How fit are you? And I really covered this in depth. I really, I find it very, very important. And therefore, I've been reading books like 50 Secrets of the Longest Living People. And they go into just very interesting, like scientific things about what you can do, what you can eat to live longer. Things like having a resilient, positive attitude where nothing can really get you down or pissed off or frustrated for long, and eating more tomatoes, and what elements of the tomatoes allow you to live longer, to nuts, to berries, to certain oils, especially olive oil, to certain books on the genetics of living longer. For instance, there's this book called The Okinawa Diet. And because I'm Asian, I'm genetically more inclined to be closer to Japanese people. And therefore, I chose a book of a tribe that has lived the longest in terms of Asian countries. And they have a specific diet, and they're really well known for living very, very long. And it just goes into depth on their lifestyle, their personality, their culture, what foods they eat, and so forth. And therefore, I'm moving away from stuff like meat, which is very tough. I love ribs, I love Big Macs, I love French fries, and I'm trying to move towards more fish, and all sorts of stuff. I don't want to get in depth in this video on it. And then, fitness is very important as well. I want to look good, of course, and I want to get muscles and six pack abs, of course, but that's not the primary concern. The primary concern is actual health and fitness, and that will allow me to live longer, have more energy, which will allow me to succeed in life better, yada yada yada. And that really means mainly stuff like flexibility, which may mean yoga or just stretching, core workouts, um, cardio, aerobic exercise on the treadmill, swimming, jogging, biking, rowing, that sort of stuff. Because again, there's so many people who are jacked and have all these muscles, but they're gasping because they're chain smokers, and they never actually exercise, and they can't even get up a flight of stairs. What's that going to mean? They're going to die at 50 or 60 years of age, even if they look all jacked up. So that's the primary thing. Having said that, I'm a guy, and therefore, although the focus is on uh, cardio and exercise, I will also work in, weightlifting stuff in there too. And if you look at my Instagram, I do post occasional videos or photos of workouts I do in the gym. So, that's it in a nutshell. Again, this is my pretty much lame attempt to boil down what my YouTube channel is, because again, like it or not, if it's all over the place, people are going to be like, what is the purpose of your channel? It's just craziness. Why should I subscribe? Why should I continue watching? And so, is this really like all my channel is about? I mean, I've covered a lot of areas. And honestly, I can't tell you the truth. I can't say that this is what my channel is going to be forever. It might change. I do like other things as well, and that's fine. I've watched YouTube channels transform since YouTube began. I've probably watched more YouTube videos than 99% of people. I've probably read more books and watched more courses and videos and speeches and interviews and lectures from the most successful people in the world and the advice they give than 99% of people. Are there people out there who have read and watched just as much? I'm sure there are, and I would be happy to meet them. But, at this point, I'm not trying to brag or anything. It's just, at this point, it has to be true. I just based off what you can see in the books and stuff, there is